Hello BookTube, this is Weekly Reads. I've got a lot of books to talk about this week, so this might be a very long video. I started this reading week with the continuation of my back to school reading project. Last week I had history, computer science, and Spanish. This week I started with math, and for math I selected The Best of Leigh Brackett by Leigh Brackett. This is a collection of Brackett's longer short stories. Leigh Brackett was a science fiction writer and fantasy writer who wrote from the late Golden Age through to the 70s. She's most known for her early script work on The Empire Strikes Back. I sadly bailed on this collection after having bailed on the first three short stories, which are the Jewel of Bass, The Vanishing Venusians, and The Veil of Estelar. None of them really did anything for me, and Brackett's writing style is that standard Golden Age adventure pulp sci-fi that at times I find interesting and it works on me, but most of the time it doesn't work for me. And this was one of the times where it didn't work for me, so I bailed. I also bailed on the book I selected for science, and that was Tomorrow's Ken by Nancy Kress. This is the first contact novel in which a professor at a small university is recruited to engage with aliens, extraterrestrials. I bailed within the first few pages because it basically annoyed me immensely. My reading berserk buttons were pushed. The FBI, I don't think, would have acted the way they did. I mean, I don't think in a situation where first contact is made that it would be the FBI who would be doing the recruiting. I don't think they would act the way they acted unless they had an arrest warrant for a person's arrest. And the only way the only time the FBI acts the way they acted in the first few pages of this book is in fiction. And it's always in fiction, and it's a cliche. The opening scene is a party because the main character had a paper published in Nature, which is the first time that anybody at this university published at that level, I'm assuming. And the main character is not happy about the party, which is again a cliche because I've never seen anybody in fiction actually happy at a party that's celebrating them. The president of the university is a moron, which again seems to be rather common in fiction, or is all the time. And it just, yeah, I was annoyed immensely by the first few pages of this novel, and I did not want to continue with it, so I bailed. Next up, I had art. And for art, I picked Tokyo Revengers by Ken Wakui. This is the first volume of a 2-volume omnibus. Tokyo Revengers is about a 26-year-old man named Takemichi who is a loser. One day he watches on the news the announcement that his middle school girlfriend and her younger brother were killed in violence perpetrated by the Tokyo Manji gang. A few days later, Takemichi seems to accidentally fall into or onto subway tracks. Before the train hits him, he finds himself 12 years in the past when he is in middle school. He's a 14-year-old, where he and his friends are middle school delinquents, and are about to get into a whole heap of trouble. Um, while Takemichi is in the past, he changes the future, and when he returns to the present, the younger brother is alive and is a detective and fully aware of Takemichi's abilities. So the brother Naoto and Takemichi work to um, send Takemichi back to the past so he can change the past so that the sister and girlfriend Hinata survives. And later, Takemichi also wants to save a number of his friends who have died in the intervening years. I didn't like this. I ended up bailing on this too. Um, so what drew me to Tokyo Revengers is the art. I love the art. Let me show you some really good examples of it. Just random examples like here, and there's one that's really, really good that I like. Oh, there. So there are a number of, I really like the art, but the, more example, and I also like the idea that the series revolves around gang culture and gangs. It's something I haven't really seen in manga a whole lot, and gave the possibility for an rather unconventional shonen protagonist. Unfortunately, it's a time travel story, and I really don't like time travel stories. And honestly, I can't stand Takemichi's character. I'm pretty sure he grows as the series progresses, but I really don't. Yeah, no. Now, by this point, I was incredibly depressed because of the books I've selected for my back to school reading project. Only one of them have I actually liked. Hurricane Season by Fernanda Melchor. The rest of them I've bailed on. So there are two left. How will things turn out? So next up was drama, and for drama I selected The Boys in the Band by Mark Crowley. The Boys in the Band is a play set in 1968 when where a group of gay men throw a birthday party for one of their friends when the old college roommate of the hosts comes and disrupts things because he wants to see and talk to his old college roommate friend, and it's a disaster, and it's a glorious disaster. I really enjoyed the play. Quite happy about that. Particularly the character of Harold. He is amazing, and the verbal sparring between Harold and Michael is just amazing. I really enjoyed it. So yeah. Next up, and finally for my back to school reading project, was English. And for English, I selected Beloved by Toni Morrison. This is one of the great American novels, definitely of the later part of the 20th century. It's a historical novel set in 1873 about a family of former slaves who are haunted by the spirit of the eldest daughter. Um, Eventually, the deceased child or the ghost um, transforms from a poltergeist into pretty much a vampire, I would say. If you take the more supernatural interpretation, Beloved is a vampire. That forces, I guess, the characters to confront what happened. I bailed on it, which I didn't think it was that good. I thought the narrative was a mess. The just something artificial about it that can put me off, and I mean, I've been told that this is a brilliant novel, but I just don't see it. Now, maybe it's one of those situations where, as a science fiction and fantasy fan, I am a bit more critical about more literary authors engaging in science fiction and fantasy and horror, and maybe not doing as well as they could. It could also be I am an incredibly harsh critic, and when I'm told something is brilliant and I expect to see brilliance and I don't quite see it, I don't know. I mean, I will probably come back to Beloved eventually. I will make sure I don't send it off unhollowed, and I'll try to check out more of Toni Morrison's work and see if maybe something else clicks with me better than Beloved did. So that was the end of my back to school reading project. But that wasn't; those books weren't the only things I read this week. I also read a bit more manga. So between Tokyo Revengers and The Boys in the Band, I read volumes 5 and 6. No, not 5 and 6, 6 and 7. I don't know why I keep saying 5 and 6. It's 6 and 7 of Tollabone Hanako-kun by AidaIro. This is volume 5, volume 6. Tollabone Hanako-kun is the story of an incredibly haunted school in Japan. One day, a student, Nene, is told that if she goes to a specific stall, Tola stall, and performs a set ritual, she can summon the spirit known as Hanako-san, or Tollabone Hanako-san, and be granted a wish. And Nene goes to the stall, she performs the ritual, and she summons the Hanako-san spirit. However, unlike in the traditional legends, this version of Hanako is a young boy, which in a younger boy than Nene was when he died. So, using the Japanese honorific system, Hanako is more properly referred to as Hanako-kun. So, Amane, the name of the ghost when he was living, is Hanako-kun. So Amane grants or aids Nene in being granted her wish, which doesn't quite go as Nene would have liked. So Amane kind of rescues her from the consequences of her wish, and in exchange, Nene has to become Amane's assistant, and gradually they become friends. Initially, Nene works cleaning Hanako-kun's toilet stall, and later aiding him in his duties regulating the relationships between the teachers and students at the school, and the supernaturals, the ghosts and other magical beings who live at the school. There are 7 mysteries at the school, of which Amane is the 7th, and that gives him a certain authority over the other 6, as well as the other supernaturals at the school. Joining Amane and Nene in their adventures is Ko. He's a young trainee exorcist who initially tries to exorcise Amane before becoming friends with Amane and Nene and joining them on their adventures. Someone is changing the rumors of the supernaturals at the school, making them more malevolent, more violent and dangerous. And Amane, Nene, and Ko have to work to rein them in, to stop them when they act out. Volume 5 continues a story arc that Volume 6 continues the story arc called The Three Timekeepers that began in Volume 5. They're the first mystery. There are three of them, one who controls the past, one who controls the present, and one who controls the future. The timekeeper who controls the future at the school is acting out. She's running amok, turning all of the students into elderly people. And Amane, Nene, and Co. team up with the second of the three timekeepers, who so happens to be a classmate of Nene's, to stop the future timekeeper. And they eventually do, and then the rest of the volume is character building, a bit of a breather before the next big arc, which is the entirety of Volume 7, which is this volume here. So Volume 7 is completely devoted to the Hell of Mirrors. Nene has been brought into a mirror, which deposits her into the territory of the third mystery, the Hell of Mirrors. In the Hell of Mirrors, she meets the ghost of a young man who we previously saw in Volume 4, Mitsuba. The representative of the third mystery attacks them and tries to possess Nene. Amane and Co. are racing to try to get into the Hell of Mirrors to rescue Nene. When they arrive, they find the third mystery destroyed by the individual who is responsible for changing the rumors at the school, and who's essentially the big bad, and that is the ghost of Amane's twin brother, Tsukasa, who is a little shit. He previously, when he was first introduced in Volume 4, mutilated the ghost of Mitsuba, and in Volume 7, he pretty much does the same thing to another version of Mitsuba. And Tsukasa's a little shit. I love these two volumes. I love this series so much. The art, the characters, the plot, just everything. It's just amazing. After I finished The Boys in the Band, I had enough time to read another volume of manga, so I read volume 17 of AidaIro by Hiro Mashima. This is a manga series about a young man named Shiki, who is the adopted grandson of an android named Ziggy, who lived on a tourist planet populated by androids. As the androids begin to fail due to lack of maintenance, a young woman named Rebecca and her Exceed companion Happy come to the planet to film videos for BQ. The androids seem to malfunction and try to kill Rebecca and Happy. Shiki rescues them and joins them on their adventures. They decide to go find the giant cosmic goddess figure, Mother. As the trio travel about the cosmos, initially the Sakura Cosmos, they gather friends and crew. First up is a past version of Weiss, who in his present self was a father figure to Rebecca, and Pino, a small android. Homura, a samurai who is searching for her adoptive mother, Valkyrie, who was one of the 4 shining stars of AidaIro, the starship that Shiki has been granted. The other 3 shining stars are Witch, Sister, and Hermit, and later joining the crew are Jin and Clean and Laguna, who were antagonists in the Drake and Joe arc. This volume in particular continues the Aoi War arc, in which a resurrected Ziggy has turned against organic sentience and has begun espousing an android supremacist message. And his first target is the AoE cosmos, which is ruled by Poseidon Nero, who has tasked his son and heir, Poseidon Shura, with dealing with the situation. Shura's solution is to purge the androids in the AoE cosmos, and he's going to do this using a weapon of mass destruction. Opposing him are, of course, the crew of the Eden Zero, but also the Interstellar Union Army and Oasis, a rebel group within the AoE cosmos, opposing the rule of Emperor Nero. Both the Interstellar Union Army and Oasis are engaging Shura's forces in space, while the crew of the Eden Zero infiltrate the planet where the WMD is located. The crew splits up. Jin, Clean, and Laguna fight the drones. Shiki engages Shura in a battle, and Rebecca, Wise, Homura, Pino, and Happy infiltrate the base. Shura flees the battle with Shiki and engages the 3 shining stars and kidnaps Witch. And Weiss, Rebecca, and Homura engage 3 members of the Ocean Six who are major fighters for the Empire. Homura faces Marani, Weiss takes on Nesse, and at the end of the volume previews or cliffhangers Rebecca's battle with Layla. Although before that ends, the volume ends with a bit of a cliffhanger, which was quite good. I'm loving Eden Zero. I love Hiro Mashima's work, and it's just, I love the art, the story, the fights, the characterizations. Just, I love it all. So, I'd originally planned, after I decided to bail on Beloved, to read a work of history. But gave Beloved another day. And which, in hindsight, was maybe a smart decision because on Wednesday I had to go watch with my mom the 4 Children of the Apocalypse, my 2 nieces and 2 nephews, while my brother and sister-in-law took the new baby to my new baby niece to an appointment. And we were there for a long time, so I really didn't have much time to do any reading on Wednesday. On Thursday, I read Volume 2 of Noragami Stray God by Adachitoka. This is about a god who wants to build up his reputation, and he does this by doing odd jobs. He also has a friend, or eventual friend, who, due to an accident, is able to leave her body, like her spirit leave her body. And the god Yato has promised to help her, although it's probably going to be a while. He has other priorities. I rather liked the first volume, but I'm not a fan of this volume. I thought some of the plot development was worrying, and I think there were some implications in the world building that I thought, if they'd been followed up, would be a bit more interesting than what we get. So, not a huge fan. And today I read Volume 3 of Kaiju number 8 by Naoya Matsumoto. This is about a man named Kafka who dreamt of joining a special force within the Japanese Self-Defense Force, which is dedicated to fighting Kaiju. In this setting, Kaiju have been routinely attacking Japan for decades, if not centuries, and perhaps the rest of the world as well. And this special force is dedicated to fighting Kaiju. Kafka, one day, while he's working as in a cleanup crew, specializing in cleaning up the aftermath of Kaiju attacks, he is injured, and while he's in the hospital, he is approached by a Kaiju type entity that merges with him and turns Kafka into a human Kaiju hybrid, Kaiju number 8. Using his newfound abilities, Kafka manages to join this special force as a trainee, and things go from there. This volume continues on from volume 2, in which the sort of trainee crew are battling a Kaiju attack, and then deals with the aftermath of that, and then ends with an attack on the army base. As much as I liked volumes 1 and 2, I didn't feel it for this one. I don't know if it's just there are certain things about the series that have been bugging me that are coming to the fore, or I'm just maybe I'm kind of coming out of my manga phase right now. I don't know, but yeah. So that was a bit disappointing as well. Or maybe I'm just over binged on manga. I don't know. But anyway. So yeah. So what I'll be reading tomorrow, I'll be reading the work of history that I wanted to read starting on Tuesday, and that is In Hitler's Munich by Michael Brenner. I've been looking forward to getting to this book and looking forward to reporting back about it. And then on Monday, I will be participating in August of Adventure, which is a booktube reading event, hosted by Sean D. Standfast and Mark of Book Time with Elvis. And I'll be reading King Solomon's Mines by H. Rider Haggard, which is in this old 4-novel omnibus that includes Cleopatra, King Solomon's Mines, and Ellen Quatermain. So looking forward to getting back to King Solomon's Mines and hoping this reading is a bit more positive than the last time I read it, which I will talk about next week for weekly reads, because I'm already at 28 minutes, well, almost 29 now, and there are a few other things I wanted to talk about, although when I did my my prep for this video, because during the week I will, while I'm exercising, go over kind of what I'm going to say for weekly reads. But so when I've been doing it, it's actually took like 45 minutes sometimes. So it's pretty good. But anyway, so I know I wanted to make a bunch of videos this past week and I didn't. On Monday, I was going to do a discussion video. I have a bit of a book buying conundrum that I wanted to kind of work my way through, and the best way to do that sometimes is to make a video about it. But the video didn't quite work out, so I might try it again on this coming Monday. Like work on it over the weekend, like tonight and this weekend, to see how that works out. On Tuesday, I'll be doing a tag video. Wednesday, likely no videos because, again, having to watch The 4 Children of the Apocalypse because the new baby and my sister-in-law have doctor's appointments. So we'll be watching them. And then on Thursday, I might try another tag video. I might also do something looking ahead to like September reading projects and also Victober. Because I kind of want to do something for Victober, but I don't quite know what. And then, of course, on Friday will be weekly reads again. So that's my plan for this upcoming filming week. And then also Thursday, I didn't do a video because I was going to do a tag video, and it didn't turn out well at all. I had a horrible night. Like, I didn't sleep very well Wednesday night and Thursday morning, so I was a bit out of it. I mean, you could tell when I'm mispronouncing assassin. It was like assassin or something. So I'm like, no. So anyway, so I might try to get some of the tags I've been missing next week. So we'll see. But anyway, BookTube, I'm going on now and I'm rambling, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. So thank you, BookTube. Have a great rest of your evening and weekend, and I will hopefully see you on Monday. So until then, BookTube, thank you and stay safe.